So with our handsome Mr. R, hi handsome guy, find it. We're just going to warm up with our typical, some lovely find its to get him in the groove. I wanted to work a little bit more with his weight and then practice a little bit with some focus on me with some eye contact. So working some attention with getting his focus up towards our face. So again, I'm going to do a couple little find its, get him in the groove. Ready? So from here, you could also, like we did a little bit earlier, is work a find it and then go, Rocky, come, and work a lovely little moment for practicing those recalls while also working with name recognition, which is really beneficial for the handsome guy. Ready? Find it. Rocky, come. Yes. Oh, sorry, sir, dropped it. He's like slippery hands with all that saliva. Ready? Find it. So obviously when working with your handsome guy, right here, yes, there might be moments where he, again, is feeling very comfortable, other times where he's a little overwhelmed or a little excitable. So always just think, if my puppy can't handle the setup or the situation, I know we've discussed it in class too, is try to be flexible in your plan or your agenda for the day. So if there's ever moments where your puppy is really having a rough time with something, ask yourselves, is it something my puppy has to be able to do right now? Or could we manage the environment or the situation and maybe give them other outlets to work on instead of the behavior we're not really loving? So let's say with Mr. R right now, we're going to work a little bit with that wait. So waiting is waiting until I call you forward, or wait until, you can go grab that thing or retrieve something or go eat it up, So I'm going to tell him to wait. I'm not going to add distance yet. I'm going to go, Rocky, come, and I'm going to bring him into the side of my body. He's like, chewing is optional. So right here, we're going to tell him to wait. If, let's say, I'm trying to add a little bit more duration to this, you'd want to start off with a couple seconds and then see how he does, and then Rocky, come. And you'll see that we've discussed like the 3 Ds, where it's like you're working with your duration, which is how long can your pup do something and do it well. Then there's going to be also, for example, your distances and your distraction levels. So let's say with Mr. Handsome, we're going to get a little wait. I'm going to throw in a little bit of a step back and then see if you can hold it for a second, and then Rocky, come. So if Mr. R had broken, which means, again, he gets up and wiggles, I would just restart off the handsome guy where we were hoping to get the behavior to happen. And he's just to grab a little drink. He's been running around. We were doing a little bit of play with the flirt pole and, of course, some of his friends. So always important to stay hydrated. So once he's done, we'll bring him on back, and then he can work a little bit more with those lovely recalls. So remember, recalls can happen from the environment. It could happen right there. And again, I just want to feed him for coming into my space because I want to create that value and reorientation to me. But recalls can, for example, happen while maybe he's exploring the yard, he's busy in the house, and you want him to check in. You could call him by his name and then see if he can recall from that position. The other option is like what we were mentioning earlier, like let's say your puppy's really struggling with holding still while working that weight. You could do a find it, and then from there go, Rocky, come, and work a recall from that lovely find it behavior. So let's say, again, we're going to get a little sit from the handsome guy. That was beautiful. I'm going to feed him for that. If, again, this was very novel to your puppy, I'd feed for each little beginning good stage before you start to be, again, a little bit less with the food here and there. So I want him to, and beautiful, if he wants to rock a lying down or a sitting position, I really don't care which he prefers. I just want him to think that there's benefit in holding back, which for most puppies and adolescents, taking a breather or holding back seems really silly. So I'm going to tell him to wait, and I don't care if he's looking away, if he's in his own little world. The main goal is he's holding back, and then when I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and go, Rocky, come. He's like, holy cow, lady, I just finally relaxed. If, let's say, he gets a little stuck, I might go ahead and lower the food to the floor. That sometimes can get them up and wiggling if they get a little stuck. Nice job. So let's say we're going to try this lovely wait again. Let me set him up where you can see him a little bit better. Get that little sit. Gorgeous. And then we're going to tell him to wait. And I'm going to see if I can take a little step. He's like, I better get cozy. Oh, he's already pooped out. And then Rocky, come. Rocky says, oh, finally, I just laid down again. Oh, you handsome man, ready? There you go. So Obviously, if there's moments where you're seeing that your puppy is fatigued or they're a little bit pooped out or whatever it might be, you don't have to keep rocking the skill that, let's say, they're going to have a harder time with. So obviously I did want to work with some weights, but maybe, again, he's done a couple great recalls. He's done some nice reorientation from the environment back to me. So maybe since he's a little bit pooped out, we'll do a little bit with some, again, that focus on the handler with eye contact. So there's a couple different ways to rock focus on you. Some people call this a look or watch me, focus, eyes. There's a lot of slogans for eye contact. So I like to, if like, let's say the puppy's not as quite responsive to the behavior, I would go to his little sniffer, bring it up to my eyes, go, Rocky, look, and then yes to feed. Again, I did sort of pair it with his name for a second because he's noticing his neighbors who are just behind us. Mr. M says he's very sad when he doesn't get to join the party, but he will be coming out in just a moment. He is hanging out with obviously his lovely lady friend, Miss K. So with Mr. R, we might go again, ready, look, and then yes to feed. So I'm keeping the time frame short and sweet for these. I'd rather have him do 3 or 4, maybe even 5 little reps that are easy and attainable than one big long moment where I'm trying to get eye contact for, let's say, 30 seconds. So again, we're gonna go look, and then yes to feed. So he's starting to realize that when I give the eyeballs and I've been cued with the, again, the look word, and it could be, again, whatever slogan you prefer. So you can always change it up. If you don't love the word look, you could do watch me or focus. So again, I'm going to go look and then yes to feed. So right now, like we've mentioned in class, I have the food in my hand to lure the pup into the behavior or the skill. This doesn't mean I'm going to always have the hand full of snacks. Mr. Max says worst day of his life. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can toss just a couple little tidbits for Mr. M. He normally goes and wrestles with his BFF, Miss K. Ready, Max? Find it. But we'll see if we can stay a little distracted. Obviously, Mr. Handsome here is like, should I get up too? You don't have to. You can veg. Good job hanging out. So let's say, for example, we're working with those look behaviors. In the beginning, your food might create the behavior, but later you want to have it be the visual and verbal cue, and then you feed right after. So I might go, ready, look, and then yes to feed. So now my hand that I was luring him with is empty, and we're gaining that behavior. So again, ready, look, and then yes to feed. So he's doing a really nice job. He's like, maybe we should go visit Mr. M. But I think Mr. M is hopefully going to go wrestle with Miss K. So we might get another one of these little moments. So if, let's say, he's getting a little tired, I like to give little recesses with a couple little find its. And then with orientation back to you is really nice. So again, find it. Nice. So other than your looking exercise, you could also do like name recognition is one of them. I call it like name cookie on one of the documents. So that consists of tossing a little snack. You'd go Rocky, and then yes to feed as he responds to his name and comes into your bubble. So those ones we've done in class quite a bit as well. So again, we do a little find it, and then we go Rocky, yes, nice, and feed for that response. There's another game that I like to play with them, which is called the 2-hand cookie game. This one doesn't consist of you asking for focus. He's like, hold up, he noticed his hoof. So, and if he wants to have a chew, you can hang out and chew his little bone. So I tend to always have little chew items, and I know he's got his Kong from home, but sometimes I like to give a couple little gnawing items, and of course now the 2 have decided to go WrestleMania. This always happens when I'm filming, which is fine. I'd rather have them have a great time wrestling while Rocky's over here working a few skills and we can rotate. So with the 2-hand cookie game, this one is similar in the sense that you're getting eye contact, but you're not asking for it. So you're almost feeding for the check-in on its own without you cueing them prior. So like with the look or name recognition, you say something first to get the focus. With this one, I like to have a couple snacks in each side. So each hand is loaded with like 4 to 5 snacks. I show them to my puppy's nose, hold them off to the sides. And what I'm waiting for Mr. R to do is the moment he locks eyes on me, right there, yes, I would feed him one of those snacks. Yes, so he's a smart boy. Oh, we dropped that one. We'll find him later. So if, let's say, your babe is still staring at your snack hand and they're barely looking at you, you may want to, right there, yeah, is you may want to go ahead and practice doing the look behavior a few more times. Get your puppy in the groove that giving eyes, yes, has value. So the way this game works is anytime Mr. R locks eyes with me, he's going to get one of those little tidbits for doing a great job visiting me versus checking out the environment. So, but I'm not asking him for focus. So I'm not saying his name. I'm not making noises. I'm not trying to coax him to give me eyeballs. He's getting really tired. So if he's getting a little bit winded, right there, nice eyes. The way this game would progress, though, is you start off with your hands off to the side. Once the puppy locks eyes on you, you would go ahead and mark that with the YES, feed for that beautiful eye contact. And then let's say that's going really nicely. You can then put your hands, let's say, behind your back. You could have one hand moving. So if one hand is moving, I want him to still lock eyes on me versus my moving hand or the distraction of my body. So this way he's starting to realize that all the good stuff happens when he's honing in on me versus the environment. So again, we'll see if we can get his little focus. He's like, lady, I'm exhausted. So again, nice right there, feed for that. So obviously I didn't get to mark it, but as long as, again, you're feeding for the moment they were gazing, that's where he's going to start to realize that's what he was getting the paycheck for. Mr. R says, I'm exhausted. So if you start to lose him, you're going to get his little sniffer, and then you're going to go ahead right there, yes, and feed. The most advanced step, which I don't think he'd be ready to rumble because he's a little bit tired, and he's just starting with the two-hand cookie game, would be to have your hands, you start them off here. You might do hands behind your back or one hand moving. That's level 2 of some wiggles and distractions. Level 3 would be to show the puppy the snacks, bring them up to your chest, and then turn away from your puppy. And then on their own, they would then move and come to the front of you and then lock eyes on you again. So, but again, it's just a fun way to create some engagement on you versus the environment. Nice job, sir. So don't worry if he doesn't always grasp the two-hand cookie game in different environments or with different distraction levels. I would definitely recommend to start off with eye contact or focus games on you while doing it in a softer bubble, like your home, your maybe your yard if he's capable, and work with the easier ones first. So name cookie or the name recognition game, the look or watch me or whatever slogan you want for eyes on you, which again, he's locking eyes, very nice. You can also just capture really nice behavior when you get it. I think the train is rumbling by and the beauties are a little bit unsure about it. So if again, or it could be thunder, hopefully not, but I'm not sure from this point. So with your handsome guy, when working with some of the weights or recalls or working some eye contact, make sure he's doing well and he's being successful in his attempts. If he's struggling, feed for anything that is similar or in the direction you'd like it to be going in. So that way, even if your babe is not completely understanding everything we're trying to explain to him, he's at least not getting frustrated and then not want to participate at all. So even reinforcing the beginning stages of something will make him think that the game is attainable and then it's worth his effort to try down the road even harder potentially. So, but we'll give Mr. R a little break. And then we'll work a little bit with a few other skills as well for the handsome guy. He says, winded, all that wrestling.